We welcome you to the Rays of Hope program this week, and we are very, very glad that you are with us. Just to remind you that this program inspires resilience, courage, but most importantly, hope. And that's why we hold these kinds of conversations, and we're very glad that you're following us. Remember, you can follow also through our social media platforms, and that is CAC TV Kenya on YouTube and CAC TV Kenya on Facebook. Kindly text your friends, let them know that we are on, and this is going to be very exciting and very educative. Today, I'm joined by a wonderful panel, but just before they introduce themselves, today we continue with the series on healing. Last time, if you can remember, we began looking at the topic of healing, and we discovered that healing is not just one-faceted. Healing encompasses a number of areas. And today, we want to look at emotional well-being. Emotional well-being, which is really a very important component of healing. If we are to really operate at our optimum, if we are to exploit the potential that God has given us fully, we need to be emotionally well. But let's meet these great panelists who have joined us today. Starting from here, kindly introduce yourself.
I am Reverend Jane Kariuki. I am a counselor by profession. I am the parish minister, PCA Isli Church.
Thank you, Reverend Jane, for joining us.
Thank you.
Viewers, I am Lydia Guire. I'm a teacher by profession. I'm also a counseling psychologist. I'm also an author. I've written books to parents as well as the adolescent. I deal with the adolescent children, I deal with their parents, I deal with university students as far as individual counseling is concerned. I am a teacher at Kiambu High School.
Thank you very much, Madam Ngweri, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. My name is Njero Ashira. I'm a parish minister at Relaxation Parish of PC Church. I'm a counseling psychologist and happy to be here to share this program.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And it's really nice to have you on board today as we continue deliberating further on the subject of healing. But just before we get to the subject, this week in the Presbyterian Church is dedicated to the celebration of the ordination of elders. It's 100 years since the first group of elders were ordained into ministry. Can you imagine? 100 years. Elders, and elders, just in case you're not a Presbyterian, it's both men and women, have been serving the Lord, serving the church, serving their communities for the last 100 years. And this week and this month are dedicated to these celebrations. And so we would want to spend a few minutes thinking of how the ministry of elders actually impacts even the area that we are discussing today. Rev, you want to start us off?
Yeah, it's great that we remember 100 years of ordination of elders in PCA. And we know that Presbyterian Church, one of the hallmarks of PCA is the idea of eldership, because the word Presbyterian comes from the word presbyter. It's based on a system of governance based on elders. And you have two kinds of elders, the teaching elders and the ruling elders. And I think one of the uniqueness of this church is that we are able to reach out to our people because we have what we call district. And these are cell groups that are headed by elders. And they are actually pastors in these cell groups, the districts. And they have done a lot of work over the 100 years of reaching out, of reconciling families. They are actually not just elders in the church, they are also elders in the community. Because once we ordain, we always tell them that they are elders wherever they are. And so it's a great thing to celebrate and to remember the work they do every day. Imagine in a parish where we have about 20 congregations. It's very, very difficult for the pastor to reach out to everybody. But the elders are able to reach out and to take care of those who are hurting, those who are sick, those who are bereaved in the absence of the minister. And I think it's a good thing to remember to celebrate the work that elders do. And so I want to say kudos to elders, and especially from Relaxation Parish. If you're watching me, we celebrate you. And we recognize the great work you do in the ministry, right in the districts, and also your pillars of this church. We are where we are because of the elders, and we thank God for you.
Wonderful. Madam Gwere.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Lucy. Elders in the PCA church play a very great role, not just for spiritual nourishment, but at the district level, like Reverend has said, they are the ones who are like the front line workers, in the sense that they deal with all the emotions of the members of the district. And the members of the district can be as many as 50 members in one district, 25 members, 25 families in one district. And of course, families will go through emotional distress at one point or another. So the first person who gets to know what is happening in that family is an elder. And therefore, they are the ones who face the shock of that emotion. Whether it is death, they are the first one to appear there. Actually, they are the ones who break news. Bad news, because how do you tell a district member something has happened? The elder is the one who is told, go and tell so and so this and this and this has happened. If I'm sent to go and tell somebody, I'll go with my elder, and because I'm a member, my elder will be the first one to receive that. So when the families are having a lot of issues, conflicts and all that, we find the elder coming in. So they are not just for spiritual purposes, but also for psychosocial support. And they do a lot of psychosocial support. So kudos to them. They do a lot of work. Actually, that work, it's not easy. So we celebrate them now that they are taking 100 years. And I'll start by celebrating my mother, who has been an elder for many years.
Wow.
Now she's retired elder. Mary Wamboigeka from Ngeda Parish. She has been an elder for many years. And I also salute my elders, PCA Bagad Parish. And I would like to, maybe they don't know this, we have a counseling department in the parish. Many churches don't have that. But as we have that, and thanks to the elders that have been supporting that department ever since we started it, dying with it, allowing us to do what we want in that department. But they are so grateful that we are helping the church together with them. Thank you so much, elders, and continue with the good work.
Wonderful. You want to celebrate elders?
Yes, thank you, Rev Ruse. We want to celebrate our elders in the PCA church. 100 years is such a milestone and a hallmark in this church. Elders play a very critical role in psychosocial education to the members and even to the young people, and especially the young people who are struggling with so many issues. Before they reach the minister, sometimes based on the nature of the parish, maybe the parish has many congregations. The elder is the first person, so the elder becomes like a midwife. The elder becomes like a mediator between, and they really do a lot of work, and we really appreciate them. And it's our prayer that God will continue expanding the ministry of eldership in the Presbyterian Church of East Africa. We acknowledge you, elders, and we love you. I want to acknowledge our elders in PCA Isley Church. We really are grateful for the great work that you have continued to do, and especially in the area where we have the conflicts that have been happening around, and the Muslim and Islamic issues that have been there, and the way the elders have been able to work together with the Muslim brothers. So when we are able to live as one family, I think that's a great strength about those elders. And I felt it is important to mention that our church neighbors the mosque, and therefore we relate as brothers and sisters. And this has been enabled and facilitated very well by the elders, because they are there on day-to-day basis, and therefore they have done such a great and commendable work.
Wonderful. Kudos to the elders. And from where I sit, actually, the Christian Education Department, elders actually run our institutions. You'll find elders in the boards. You will find elders in the school boards. Elders as chairpersons of the boards. Elders representing the church in very different organizations and institutions. For me, I celebrate the elders of the good work and the nurture. Even for us who are now teaching elders, it has taken the mentorship of elders, of the ruling elders, to be where we are at. They provide a standard,
Yeah, they do.
and hence the word ruler, ruling elder. And by the way, for the viewer, just to know that a ruler is a canon, is a kind of a standard. And so elders help to set a standard. And that's why they even deal with disciplinary issues in the church.
Yeah.
They are a standard. And that's why they're supposed to be above reproach. And so we celebrate elders. I celebrate my home church elders, and that is Bagadi Parish. I celebrate St. Andrews. I celebrate Loresho, where I was a student. I celebrate Kingongo. I celebrate Athi River. I mean, I celebrate you all and all the elders in East Africa. May God continue blessing you. We love you. We treasure you. And we can only pray that God blesses you and God walks with you. Thank you very much. And I would like to proceed with the healing and the emotional well-being. So, why emotional well-being, Madam Gwiri? What is it?
Now, what I would call emotions, in a simple language, I would call them feelings.
Feelings.
And this is somebody's reaction towards a certain event or a certain happening, but more so how I perceive it. So if I perceive an event as hurting, I'll get the emotion of hurt, I'll get pain, I'll get anger. If I perceive an emotion as something happening as good, then I'll get positive emotions like joy, and feel good, I'll feel wonderful, I'll feel love, because that is what I perceived from that happening or from that act. And therefore, when we're talking about well-being, I'm talking about, am I able to tell whether I'm feeling angry, whether I'm feeling hurt, whether I'm feeling happy, whether I'm joyous? Am I able to recognize that emotion so that my well-being comes from, if it is anger, what do I do with it? If it is hurt, what do I do with it? If it is happiness, am I supposed to be happy or not happy? Because there are some people who are never happy, yet they are perceiving an emotion of happiness, but they are pushing it back. So my well-being is, if it is that happiness, am I able to feel it? If it is that anger, am I able to express it? Am I able to feel that I'm feeling that anger or that fear or that worry or that anxiety or that frustration? Have I been able to identify it? And then what do I do with it? Then I will say I'm emotionally well. Yes.
So, emotionally well versus emotionally healed. Is there a difference, Rev Jero?
Emotional well and emotionally healed. We can't talk about healing per se, but well-being, because emotions, I must say, as our sister said, positive emotions are pillars to positive psychology. So if you're well emotionally, or it affects other parts of you, because how you feel, because it talks about emotions as feeling, affects what you do, how you think. Actually, there's a relationship about how you feel, how you think, and what you do. Feelings, behaviors, and thoughts are correlated. So that if you're feeling angry, this might be as a result of some negative thoughts you're harboring. So your thoughts affect your feelings, and so when they affect your feelings, they affect your behaviors. And when they affect your behaviors, you affect the people who are around you. So being emotionally well is very paramount, not just for your own well-being, but also in terms of other people that you live with, because you're affected by how you're feeling.
Wow, this is deep. So I hear you mixing both what I perceive maybe to be positive and negative. Is that the case? They are positive and they are also negative emotions?
Yeah, basically a human being has both of them, both positive and negative feelings. And the most important thing is ability to handle them. How do you handle the emotions that you have? Because you could be feeling angry and you're able to handle it so you don't throw up, you don't scream, you don't yell, you're able to deal with the emotions at hand. And therefore the behavior is also portrayed because you're able to manage. So emotional wellness and well-being is basically about managing your own emotions in such a way that you can be able to tell how you feel at a certain point in time, and then you can be able also to deal with it in a way that you don't actually close your feelings. You're still able to express them, but express them in a healthy way. So either positive or negative, whichever way comes, ability to express your feelings and ability to cope with them is most important towards emotional well-being.
Wow, and we're in this challenging season. We really cannot overlook that. COVID. It's not like we didn't need emotional healing before or even after this, but things are more pronounced now. What are the things that are coming out so clearly in terms of maybe negative emotions this period?
Okay, thank you so much, Reverend. During the time of COVID, there has been quite a number of issues, especially to do with emotions. Of course, when it started with we are going nowhere, we are remaining at home, that brought a lot of anger. So many people got angry. I can't move out, I can't go to work, I have to work from the house, I have to live with my family and so on. So anger was also brought about by the fact that my salary has been cut, I have lost my job. I am living with a person that I do not know. That now relationship issues, because the husband leaves early in the morning, the wives leave early in the morning, they come back late in the night, then they leave again in the morning. Now they are locked in the house, the two of them, and now they have to deal with each other. They do not know how to handle their emotions, so anger comes in, frustration comes in, hurt comes in, pain comes in. And as it is happening to me, as a wife, maybe my husband is displacing their anger on me because they can't go out, especially those ones who drink. Can't go drinking, can't go to meet friends, and so on. So they are displacing their emotions on me. So their pain and their frustration and everything is on me. I can't hit back because he's my husband. I can't even express the emotions because I'm fearing being beaten. So my anger, now I also get angry with him, but I cannot express on him. So again, I also displace them on the children. And that is why we are having a lot of child abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse on children, because we are reacting from what is happening. So anger, pain, frustration and all that now becomes negative emotions on people. Now this one is even made worse by fear, worry, anxiety. Those are all negative emotions. Because there is fear of I'm going to lose my job. There is fear of I am not going to be paid rent. Because landlords, I'm not going to be paid my rent, and of course they have not been paid. It has happened, and that is my source of income. So there is fear of my children who are grown up, who are going out and coming back. They are going to bring COVID. Because then they are no young people. It's as if it's not there. Adolescent, it's as if COVID ni aware.
It's not ours.
It's not ours. So me as a parent, I'm worried about it. But do I lock them in the house? What do I do with them? These ones are going partying. You have heard about partying and all that, yeah? And they're coming back to my house. And I'm 70, 60 years of age. I'm so vulnerable. Maybe I have an underlying issue, hypertensive and all that. I'm so vulnerable. But these children are not seeing that because to them they are not seeing. So I get worried. And I'm always anxious about getting the disease. Now those becomes negative emotions that people that are going through at this particular time. Just to mention a few.
And Rev, I hear from this conversation that there's a relationship. There seems to be a direct relationship between emotions and behavior.
Yes.
Can you enlighten us on that?
Yes, there's a relationship between the emotions and behavior because emotions don't operate on their own. It comes from your thinking, your thoughts. Because if you have negative thoughts or distorted thinking, you feel bad. It affects your feelings. And when you feel bad, this is how you react. That's why you find that someone might be going through lockdown and they are suffering from what she has just mentioned. And she can create their own thoughts. No thoughts to speak to you, you speak to yourself. You might think that this person is responsible for my own predicaments. That's why you find that you want to vent out through other people. There are those who repress their feelings and it affects them, but there are those who, what did you say, you direct your feelings to another object which is less harmful, maybe your children. And so we have seen a lot of domestic violence and people fighting at home. Actually, I was talking just before you came in about the US, this thing, I can't breathe. That was one of the reactions of people being locked down. They cannot move, they're suffering, and then they find a reason to vent out and people go into the streets. And we have found much of that in homes, where there's violence, where there's abuse of children, because of so the sexual energy is another way people have expressed their feelings. Just go out there and do crazy things. But if you trace all that, it goes back to their thoughts and emotions, because they're not able to direct their emotions properly. That's what we talk about emotional intelligence. So when you feel bad, when you feel hurt, when you're angry, what do you do? How do you vent out? And how do you deal with the emotions? And which is very, very important for our discussion today.
And are there like collective emotions? Okay, like the I can't breathe. It starts from a personal feeling, then it also spills out to
frustration,
like communal. So in a country, do we have I can't breathe moments? And would we say that maybe it's being expressed on social media, the way people are behaving, that kind of a thing?
The I can't breathe phenomena is actually being expressed so much in the social media. If you look at the social media, there's a lot of abuse that is happening. People are using very bad language, insulting each other, talking rude and all those kind of things, because people are trying to vent out their anger and their frustration. And I want to mention and say that when you see the politicians talking and doing all these things, they're actually trying to vent out their emotions. They feel like they have been locked in somewhere and they have not been able to vent. So they'll do all those crazy things in the social media. And the social media has become a platform of expression of emotions. And especially when you don't want to face the person and tell them how you feel one-on-one. You would prefer to do an SMS. And I know families that are telling each other, let's communicate on SMS. Because they don't want to face each other and share out and deal with the issue. It's more easier to write something bad in a message and send than tell that person one-on-one how you feel. So these are ways people are actually expressing out, venting out their negative emotions and trying to deal with the issue. And basically by the end of the day, no problem is solved, because what you're trying to do is to disperse. You're trying to disperse your emotions and you're trying to behave in a way that you don't want to really accept. You're in denial, some kind of denial that there is this problem. So by the end of it, you find we are becoming more worse. So I think there is need to ask the community to understand how do we deal with emotions so that we can have emotional well-being. Accepting your emotions, accepting how you feel. And when you accept how you feel, then you're also able to actually say, I'm feeling sad. I feel like I can cry and just knock somebody. And then you tell yourself, you just address a chair. There's that kind of counseling that you do. You address a chair, I'm feeling bad and all those things. Then once you release all those things, your heart starts coming down. And you're able to heal, and then you're able to start moving to the next level.
And before we go for a break, because I want now us to really, this is Rays of Hope. So at the end of the day, we also don't want to feel really bad that we came for this program. We've ended up being so sad and so stressed out. We want to end on another note. But then before we take a break, we've talked about the negative, and of course the negative emotions are the ones that affect us most. Can you mention some positive emotions?
Joy is a positive emotion. Love is a positive emotion. Feeling good is a positive emotion. And many others. Something that humor give birth to laughter.
Yeah.
Those are positive emotions that go hand in hand
Yeah.
with the negative emotions. And what we need to do is to take advantage of the positive emotion. Because the minute you express the positive emotion, it weakens the negative one. And unfortunately, people have been hit by negative emotions until they don't realize the positive one. Because when somebody made me angry and I remained with it, made me hurt and I remained in it, even if we came here and we were all having laughter, which is a very negative, positive emotion, I will not, because my emotions are telling me otherwise. Because like we're talking about behavior coming from thinking and feeling. Because emotions, we feel them from here. And we start with an emotion. For example, if you called me a name, you called me stupid, I'll start with an emotion of hurt. Then I'll ask myself, thinking, now I've moved from here, I've gone here. Why did Reverend call me stupid? Ameniangalia tu, akaona I am stupid. Then, and I think, I'm stupid. Even my mother called me stupid. You see, now I've gone to a different level. Now I'm having negative thoughts. Now my behavior towards you will be, she's going to know from today I am not stupid. So I'm going to be violent towards you, or I'm going to do it differently. You know, I can be violent towards you by verbal, but I can also write an SMS. I can do it on Facebook and say, "Ata ukiona Reverend hivi or hivi." I'm just hitting back at you. So that is my behavior towards you, just because of what I told myself after the feeling. Okay, you called me stupid, but what did I tell myself? That's what matters. What did I tell myself? Because I can also tell myself, she called me stupid, but I am not stupid. So I'm not going to react on you. My behavior towards you will be normal. After all, it is you who thinks I'm stupid. Me, I am not stupid. So the thought behind is very, 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 very important. Such that if there was laughter here, I will be able to laugh. Because I'm not gone to negative thinking process. Unfortunately, majority of us are in negative thinking process. Such that because my husband called me this, I am not going to, the whole day I'm not going to be happy. And my children are not going to be happy because verbal abuse will come from me. So even when there was happiness, I'm not going to feel it. There was a time we went to a guild meeting.
And before you give her that story, I think it's going to help us get to the next level. We need to take a break, but I take note of the fact that what I tell myself is really what matters. And I hear you saying that we can't run away from emotions. They're very natural. And so we want to hear after this break, we want to hear now how do we cope? Because if it's natural, if we must go through this, if some emotions will be pronounced at certain times because of other conditions, how do we cope with that? And so, dear viewer, we would like to take a short break, after which we will learn more. And I think this is very helpful, and more so at this time. So please don't go away. We'll be right back.
Here comes the week that has taken 100 years to be, the week that marks 100 years since the ordination of the first African PCA elders. From the initial 28 elders ordained on 16th September 1920, now PCA has over 20,000 elders. Praise be to God. On Monday 8 p.m., CAC TV will feature an overview of the office of an elder, including a day in the life of an elder and the opinion of the youth on elders. On Tuesday, the children and the grandchildren of the initial elders will have an opportunity to reflect on the impact of their parents and grandparents and how their faith has impacted them. On Wednesday at 9 p.m., you will be inspired by the narration from various elders on what their offices entails, and as well as comparison between the elders then and the elders now. On Thursday, 7:30 p.m., CAC TV will feature an amazing session. PCA elders who are in politics have a message. What could this be? On Friday, the question of youth in eldership will be the discussion on your screen. Are youth allowed to be elders? Find out on CAC TV. On Saturday at 9 p.m., we will all sit to learn about eldership from inception to its dynamics, and the teacher will not disappoint. On Sunday the 20th from 9 a.m., the torch from the Church of the Torch that has spread beyond East Africa will be shining the more as a mark of the centennial celebrations of the ordination of first African elders. Thereafter, our evening will be special. PCA elders serving as CEOs in various organizations will be addressing the issue of balancing public service and ministry responsibilities. All these activities are revolving around the theme bearing lasting fruits from John chapter 15 verse 16. Wherever you are, just believe. They did, so we too can. Here is a long-awaited solution for churches who want the versatility of serving their own style of communion bread while still enjoying the benefits of pre-filled juice and church wine. Easy setup and no worry of spills, contamination or waste. Made in Kenya with strict quality standards on dedicated equipment, you can rest assured. Holy Communion elements, also known as the Lord's Supper, is completely protected. The Holy Communion element is a single portion serving of juice or altar wine with wafer that will transform your communion celebration. Both elements of communion are individually sealed in one cup, ready to serve. It comes with the following benefits: available with or without wafer or non-alcoholic or alcoholic, no added sugars, no high fructose corn syrup, and no GMOs. 100% recyclable plastic cup. Create social distancing. You will not have to share your Holy Communion elements with somebody else, hence enhancing hygiene. Also, it is affordable, and many more. Place your order now. For more information, contact 0722 222 898 or 0741 666 273, or write to us through our email address communionelements@gmail.com.
We welcome you back to the Rays of Hope, and today we are discussing emotional well-being. We all need to be well. God intends that we be well because He has created us with a lot of potential. Yet, some of this potential may never be realized in life if we are not well. And wellness has many components. And today we are focusing on emotional well-being. Emotions being very important, and we have a great panel here. They have taken us through what emotional wellness is all about. We have heard that they are both positive and negative emotions. We've also learned that there is a relationship, a direct relationship between emotions and behavior. And so what we see shows what is this? Can you
Yeah, the
tell us
relationship
that?
between emotions,
Yeah.
thoughts, and behaviors. Because what you think affects how you feel,
Yeah.
and it affects how you behave.
Uh-huh.
So there's a direct relationship.
Uh-huh.
If you think you're hated, you feel bad about it.
Uh-huh.
And so you're going to show that to people around you
Uh-huh.
by either avoiding them
Yeah.
or being aggressive to them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a direct relationship.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And the how we feel, is it also the same of the attitude? The how I feel, the level of what I think, the thoughts, the feeling. What does my attitude come in?
My attitude comes in with what I feel
Yeah.
and what I think.
Uh-huh.
Now that forms my attitude.
Uh-huh.
So my attitude towards you, because of what I'm telling myself, for example, I gave, you called me stupid.
Yes.
What do I tell myself
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
So what if I tell myself, you have wronged me
Uh-huh.
and I'm getting hurt?
Yeah.
My attitude towards you
Yeah.
will be very negative.
Yes.
So even if you are the preacher today,
Uh-huh.
and you are preaching there at the pulpit, I am not going to hear what you are saying because my attitude towards you
Yeah.
is very negative.
Uh-huh.
To me, you are saying nothing.
Uh-huh.
So even if you are teaching me, and that's what happens even in school, what is my attitude towards the teacher? I'm a history teacher. So if this child, the attitude, maybe there's something I did as a teacher, maybe I told you are not thinking, and then you take it negatively. So your attitude towards me is, huyo mwalimu ni mbaya. So from then onwards, you'll not be listening to me because your attitude is negative towards me.
And we ended, we went for break at the point where you are giving us an illustration.
Yeah.
Yes.
About where we are coming from,
Yeah.
and positive emotions. So we are in a meeting, guild members, and then I won't say where we were, and then the preacher, who was the reverend, was very humorous. So we are laughing, all of us. So we were in the front bench, quite a number of us. Then there is a lady behind us. So everybody is laughing. But this lady is asking through here, munacheka nini? So you're wondering, everybody is laughing, but she's wondering, munacheka nini? So she keeps on popping this, if you are in between the forms, between you.
Yeah.
Munacheka nini? Munacheka nini? So where is the problem? Us, we are enjoying. It is so humorous, and we are enjoying ourselves. But she's not hearing it. She is not seeing it. So my conclusion as a counselor, and that's what I concluded as a counselor, she's coming from a lot of problems. So she has carried her problems with her. Maybe she's hurting, maybe she's frustrated, maybe she's angry, and that one has colonized her to an extent she's not feeling the human because of what she told herself as far as her problems are concerned. Yeah.
We really don't want to be held hostage.
Yes.
We want to enjoy life.
Yes.
We want to enjoy the blessings of God. And I think that's why we're here to give hope.
Yes.
A raise of hope.
Yes.
Because it's possible, I believe, and you'll tell us more, to learn how to be self-aware and to learn how to cope with emotions so that we get the best out of life. Because life is good.
Yeah.
Life is, it's LG, it's good.
Yeah, it's
Life
good.
is good.
Yeah.
But then we can be held captive. So how do we start getting these mechanisms, How do we cope?
Yeah, we can actually cope with our emotions by maybe the first one I would want to mention is relaxation techniques. Ability to relax. There are people who basically don't relax even when they go to sleep. They are building castles in the night and they are doing so many things in their minds and in their thoughts. Taking a moment and relaxing, you can do breathing, you can take a walk, you can just decide to go sit down under a tree and just enjoy the nature, listen to yourself, how are you feeling, listen to your body, how is it, do you have pains at some point here and there. That way you'll be able to get to a moment of relaxation. And meditation is one of the most important that has actually been recommended by psychologists and also religious community. Because meditation is a way of focusing on yourself again and in your mind. So we can, as Christians, we maybe can talk about Christian meditation. I know there are several other kinds of meditation, but let's talk about Christian meditation. You take a scripture and you meditate on it, you know, you hear what has God said about my situation. You meditate on that, you take time to reflect on it, and it becomes part of you. Once it becomes part of you, that which is positive now, you're able to replace what my fellow colleague here has said. You're able to replace the negative with the positive. That helps you to cope, to start coping with the situation and with the emotions that you could be going through at that point in time. Yeah.
So meditation and all that, and relax.
Yeah,
so that we can
is very
relax.
important. We need
It's
to relax.
important to relax.
We need to relax.
And when we go to sleep, we need to sleep.
Sleep like a baby.
But then, Madam Gwere, because maybe young people watching this program think it's the older people who need to relax and sleep, because young people are, I mean, they're active, hyperactive.
Yeah.
That even when they go to sleep, under the blankets or wherever, they're chatting, they are doing whatever they're doing. So please address us as you help us.
Actually, that is a major issue. In fact, I'm wondering when schools open, what is going to happen? Because young people are not sleeping, whether they are at the university or whether they are at school, the secondary and primary school. Those that have phones, they are sleeping with their phones, they are chatting, Facebook, they do Twitter, they do what? Throughout. They sleep in the morning. Because throughout the night they were very, very. So that is affecting their sleeping pattern. And they don't realize that. And you know, a young person can do with Kesha and continue the whole day as if nothing has happened. But it is having a heavy toll on their body now, which they will not realize, which they will realize much later in life. They are sleeping with earphones. Very loud music. They are affecting their hearing capacity, but they do not realize that. Where the parent is strict and the lights are put off, now they are using the phone without electricity. So they are also affecting their eyesight. But you see, they do not see that. And the problem with a young person is that they do not see tomorrow. They see here. Now. And they have this notion of it cannot happen to me. So even when you tell them this will happen, to them, it cannot happen to them. So when their bodies do not get rest, now they are young, they will still feel rejuvenated and they will still move, but a time is coming. When all that they did when they are young, they are going to pay for it. They do not realize. You know, I tell them, like when they will put tattoo, and that ink is affecting the skin. You don't realize that a day you will need maybe to be put in a certain machine, like the MRI machine, and this ink might react with the machine. So the doctor is hesitating. Am I going to do this? But when you tell a young person, they might need that machine in the future. To them it is nothing. They don't see it. So I'm telling them, you are going to suffer the consequences of your actions today. What you are doing with your body today, you are going to suffer those consequences. So listen to what your parents are saying. Listen to what the youth pastor is saying. Listen to what the reverend is saying. Listen to what the teacher is saying, because they are talking out of experience. Because I am not young anymore. So where I felt cold, and I exposed myself to cold at that particular time, I'm feeling it now. But that time, it was nothing. I never felt it. But it's going to have a toll on you in the future. So we need to be a little bit more careful. And we need to create awareness, because my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And why most people are perishing is because of lack of knowledge. And who is going to give that knowledge if it is not us? You have the church to do. I have the school, and I also have the church. You know, forums where, and I'm saying that in a church TV station, where let us today be told by Reverend Russe how to go to heaven. Today is Sunday. We'll be told how to go to heaven. Tomorrow, let Reverend come as a psychologist and tell us how to live in this world. So that we go to heaven at the right time.
True.
Because we have been able to deal with the stress.
Yes.
We have been able to express our emotions.
Yeah.
You can imagine what we are doing now if it is a preaching. Because you can get verses in the Bible to preach about it.
Yeah.
And we are telling people, please do relaxation.
Yeah.
Please do
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
Adding on what she has said about meditation.
Yes.
Let people know prayer is meditation. And you can even, don't have to say wrong prayers. You can repeat the same words. Our Father who art in heaven. Repeat that prayer. Repeat that. You are meditating. You are still meditating. Take a verse in the Bible which is talking to you. And then you are still meditating. And your stress levels are going down. Your anxiety is going down. Worry is going down. Because when you are thinking about your son who went, and he's going to bring COVID, unless you tie him with a rope,
Which is impossible.
which is not possible. So why are you thinking? So why don't you go to the Bible and get a verse that is reminding you, worry is going to lead to nowhere. We leave it to God. And I meditate on that. Leave it to God, leave it to God, leave it to God, leave it to God. And finally you sleep.
You sleep.
And you have left it to
God.
To God. Because there are things that are beyond us.
Yeah.
And one way of dealing with emotions is realizing what can I handle and what can't I handle. What I can handle, let me do something about it. What I can't, let me learn how to live with it.
Sounds like the serenity prayer.
Yes. Yes. Because I can't handle everything. If I'm getting worried about my son who is out and I'm not going to lock him in the house, I'm only killing myself slowly. So that is where I have to learn to live with it without getting worried. And that's why I'll go to sleep and tell God, I have given you. And then I sleep. Because I have actually given you. Because God tells us, ask. And it shall be given. Knock.
The door will be open.
The door will be open. Seek.
You will find.
And you will find. And when I meditate on that, then I sleep naturally. So when people are wondering, how comes you never do that? Because you have learned there is things that I can do something about, and there's things that I cannot do something about. When he comes back, I'll tell him, I got worried about you. Lakini nimefika pahali nimeacha. Nimekupatia Mungu. Full stop. Hata yeye anaanza kufikiria. Hii Mungu nimepatiwa na mama. Unaona? Mama amenipatia Mungu. He'll start thinking about, but quarreling, abusing, because the minute you did not sleep, wake up in the morning and he's arriving in the morning, you are calling him all the words in this one. Have you helped? He'll just turn and go and come back. More of it.
Sure.
Yes. So I have to learn which way do I go. So my people perish because of lack of knowledge. So who is going to educate them? If it is not us. It is and us. I'm happy because now we have reverends that are psychologists.
There is hope.
There is hope.
There is hope.
There is hope.
Reverend.
There is.
In the family, we all come from families. None of us comes from a vacuum, whatever form of the family that we have. There are things that are happening and they are now more pronounced. So how do we start dealing with the negative emotions in the family setup, and can you name some of them?
Okay, one of the things to realize is that emotions are gifts, a gift from God.
It's a gift.
Whether negative or positive. It's just like pain. You don't have pain, you can actually burn your leg without bleed. So the same way pain is important, emotions are very important. And you need to recognize that. When you feel angry, it's important and very good that you're feeling angry. It tells you that something is not right. Someone is taking advantage of you. So when you feel angry at home, the first thing to do is to know how to express that feeling. Because you don't suppress the feeling. When you suppress the feeling, it also affects you in other ways. So the thing here is to know how to express your feeling, how to vent out. And I was talking to a friend last night who was telling me that he went and there was a deal that went bad. And she was really angry. What she did, she went home, prepared her best meal, sat down and ate a lot of food. And then she started crying. She started crying. And she was actually speaking about her problem. I think that's a good way of venting out. Because you have to let this feeling go. Sometimes in the family setup, when something has happened and you're hurt by your partner, get a good friend who cannot betray you. Go and express that anger. Someone who understands you. Speak it out. Do not suppress the feeling. Because when you suppress it, it might come out in a different way. Or you project it to other people. The other thing is that in a family setup, when things happen, we must learn to let go. The Bible talks about guarding your heart, because out of it comes the issues of life. And here your heart is the seat of emotions. And I think when the Bible talks about the heart, it doesn't mean the physical heart. It's actually your mind. You guard your thoughts. Those things that tell you that you're hated or people don't like you. Are they really true or are they distorted thoughts? You need to guard yourself from those negative thoughts. Because if you take captive of your thoughts, you are able to have positive emotion. And as she says that if you are told you're stupid, you must ask yourself, am I really stupid? And when you correct that thought, you are going to realize you're not stupid. That's someone's opinion. Because you're not stupid. And so you're guarding yourself from negative emotions. And then you're able to cope. The other thing which is very important in families, I don't know whether you have realized, it's very easy to have a bitterness and anger in families than outside there. We easily forgive other people, but it becomes very difficult to forgive your kin and kin. And I think it's very important for families to know and to learn forgiveness. Forgiving other people, forgiving one another. Their partners, marriage couple, people who have lived with bitterness and anger over the years. And I think this has also affected their immunity. Because they're angry, they're bitter, their husbands. He did this to me, he was unfaithful, I can't forgive him. And they actually wait for the opportune time to express their anger. And this is why you find sometimes people killing each other. And I think we need to learn also to let go and also to forgive. Forgiving other people. And this must be very deliberate. But I must say not just forgiving others, but also forgiving yourself. Because when we talk about emotional well-being, we're talking about coming to a point where you have reconciled your past with your present and not worried about the future. You're actually contented.
Say that again. That's very powerful.
There's confusion between your past, your present, and you look at the future without of hope. And that has to bring an equilibrium. And this is why we need to forgive ourselves of the past. Because sometimes we get negative emotions like guilt over things that we did there in those days. We are still carrying a baggage of guilt and anger and regret and bitterness. We have to forgive ourselves. And also tell ourselves that we don't have control of the future. There's a God who knows the future. So whatever happens in the future, we leave it to God. And then you're able to enjoy life now. You're living in the present. And that's the most important thing. Don't worry about the future. Forgive yourself about the past. And live today. And you're going to enjoy. And I think this way you are going to have some wellness in terms of emotions. And this will affect other faculties of you. Yes.
Wow, Rev Jane, so is it a sign of weakness? Because Rev is saying that we shouldn't suppress our emotions. So is it a sign of weakness to seek the help of a counselor? It shows yani mambo yetu imeenda vibaya sana.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Lucy. Seeking help is actually a strength. It's not a weakness. It is actually saying that I understand that I'm stuck. And I need to move from this level where I'm stuck. And the first step to move from my level is to share out with somebody who is going to be very confidential, to listen to my story, to listen to his story, and then help us get unstuck. Because basically we say in counseling, the members who come for counseling have a solution to their problem.
Yeah.
But what makes them stuck is that when you get emotionally wounded, when you bottom up so many emotions, you actually get stuck at some point in your mind. And you're not able actually to think of a certain solution that you can take or a step that you can take. So I would want to encourage our viewers to seek help, because seeking help is one of the very first steps towards emotional wellness and towards emotional healing. Because if you're stuck, then the only way out is to get somebody to assist you. So it is not a weakness. It's such a great strength, basically. You know, when families are struggling and they are fighting and there are all these struggles, you can't continue fighting all the time. You need to say, we have fought enough. Tell us how now we can. No, let's go and seek a counselor so that we can get our way out. We can get a solution to whatever we are going through. And Reverend Rusi, I want to say that families are stuck. COVID-19 has made so many families to be stuck. Because basically the father is the head of the family. But because he has been out for long enough, the mother took the seat of leadership. So when the man comes back and is told to stay at home, like my colleague here has said, Adam Gwere, and he's now back sitting there and he's like, I want to take my position. And the drama queen says, no, I am in charge here. I am in charge here. So conflict starts right away from there. So ability to even understand boundaries so that people can stop getting stuck.
Yeah.
You know, people can start realizing, you know, that awareness that something is not working and we need to put it into the right perspective so that things can work for this marriage, things can work for our teenagers, and things can even work for the church. You know, even the church to some point is also stuck.
Yeah.
You know, there are churches that are completely stuck. They're not understanding how do we start, where do we move, how do we go about it. So you have to start somewhere always. And when you feel stuck, don't keep quiet. Share that with somebody, and help will be there for you. Yeah.
Madam Gore, being stuck and moving on.
Yeah. There's one thing that I tell people, which is a very good way of moving from one level to another. Because once you have so many emotions, you become numb. You don't feel them anymore. And therefore now you are just walking because others are walking. Or you are sitting because others are sitting. Now you are a dead human being that is still alive. And because you have so many, because emotions carry each other. I get hurt, I get angry, I feel pain. All of them, of course, frustration. I get frustrated. Maybe what was making all this is guilt. Maybe I was left there's shame. So all those emotions are in one human being. So I and this human being now gets stuck and get numb. I don't feel anymore. And therefore, I need to unstuck myself. I need, first of all, to accept I have so many emotions. Accept I'm feeling pain. I accept I'm feeling guilty. I'm frustrated. I'm bitter. And all that. I accept that I have all these emotions. So that I will be able to move with them. Then after I've accepted, then how do I deal with them? Because I have to look for ways and means of dealing with them. I can seek counseling. I can also do self-talk. Hiyo ya kujiambia. Unajua kujiita kamkutano. And it really helps. And ask myself, okay, I'm feeling angry. Why am I feeling angry? You know, I'm talking to myself. I'm feeling angry because I was called stupid. Then I still ask myself, why is the word stupid written on me? It is not written anywhere. So why are you feeling angry? You see, I've removed anger. Just talking to myself. Then I'm living in the past. Guilt because of what I did. And I deal with a lot of parents that got children at their teen level. Under 18, I've gotten a baby. Then I have stayed with this baby. Then I've gotten married. So I've carried this baby with me into the new marriage. Now this baby does not know they don't belong here, but they have a clue. So during adolescent period, they ask him, who is my father? And I'm telling them, this is your father. And they are saying, no, I doubt. And they will give you all the reasons. Hatufanani, sijui nini, hanipendi. And that child has a point. And now I'm telling the mother, when I'm dealing with the child, I think this child needs to know the truth. Because inaonekana akona kaukweli, ni vile hataki kusema. And the mother tells me, no, where do I start? And they start crying. How can I tell my past mistakes? You see, this mother has been living with that guilt and shame of a long period of time. So we need also to deal with that. The child, that we can be able to deal with the present,
and the future. Wow. I would say, fortunately, why fortunate? We must bring this to an end. But fortunately, it's because we are starting to converse. We're starting to talk. We don't want to be stuck again. And we are starting the journey. So even as we bring this conversation to an end, there is hope.
There is hope.
Because we now know where to begin, how to be self-aware, and what it means, and that emotions are a gift. I want us to give some parting shots, but this conversation continues on our other platforms, and we'll keep on engaging, because we all need to be well.
We do.
We all need to be well. So, Rev, face the camera and just give a parting shot.
That is that you are responsible for your own happiness. Don't blame others. When you feel bad, you are responsible, because what is outside you cannot affect you unless you allow it. So you must always know that you are responsible. In Kiswahili they say raha jipe mwenyewe. So don't open yourself to what others are throwing at you. You can always call yourself in a meeting like we have just had and interrogate some of the thoughts that are going through your mind, and be able to say that I'm not going to take this, I'll be joyful, I'll feel good, I'll be happy, because you are responsible for your own joy.
We are responsible. I am responsible. Madam, we're parting shot.
I would say that it is a high time that we start getting used to being taught. And we allow ourselves to be taught, to be told, because that one will bring an awareness such that I will know their emotions, I will know I'm hurting, and I'll be taught ways and means of dealing with it. So when the church calls for seminars, I'm sure we are going there now. With the COVID over, we shall go back there. When the church calls for seminar, so come and listen to what others are saying and go and practice.
Let us be ready to learn.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you. The parting shot is that there is hope. The situation you may be going through is not extremely bad. Others may have gone through the same and they overcame. So having a positive attitude is very, very important for you to be able to get where we are saying that you need to have emotional wellness. So therefore, as we wind up, I would want to encourage members of the church. Let's have support systems. Support systems are also very, very important. A group of people that you can actually go out for nyama choma and you just relax over an afternoon, a weekend. Now that the nyama choma joints are opened, so that we also don't become too crossed up to ourselves, to the level that we find ourselves withdrawn. There are people who have never stepped out of their home since March because of COVID. Life has to continue, and let's also remember that even as much as we are doing the protocols and the precautions, it's God who is taking care of us. So get a day out, and if you don't have anybody to treat you, treat yourself. You can take yourself out and have lunch. You can take yourself out and enjoy yourself and relax somewhere, because you need to be well. The church cannot be spiritually well if members are physically wounded and they are not emotionally well. So let's do all that we can, and let's know there is hope, because God is on our side. And with God, we are more than conquerors. God bless you, our viewers.
What a nice way to end. God is on our
On
side.
our side.
God is for us. God means well
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
So we can be emotionally
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I must thank you very much for finding time, creating time to be with us and for giving us all that wisdom. All that, and there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and we
There's
will
a
find
lot
ways and means of, letting other people share
Yeah.
what we have. And thank you very much, dear viewers. We want to end at that point. Remember, God is on our side.
Very true.
So it's not too bad. You are just going through normal things, and we have been told emotions are a gift from God. But what matters is how we cope with them, so that we have either positive results or negative. So may God help us. May God help you. It is well. God means well for all of us. God bless you. Until next time, take care. Bye.